Chicken here, bring you another Boom Beach video. In today's video, guys, we're going to be discussing everything we know so far about the heroes, and what I mean by that is all the speculation that's been going around, some of the best ideas that have come out, and what's most likely going to be the case. This is just based purely on speculation, guys. Of course, we don't actually know anything as of the time of this video being made yet, set in stone about what the heroes are actually going to do. So we're going to be diving on into Dr. Terrence and getting a little hashtag chicken chat ready about the heroes, guys. So, let's talk about the first bit of kind of speculation that came out, and that was about the heroes and the heroes being something that could be like created from a prototype. And I thought this was really interesting because I felt like this is one of the best ways that the heroes could actually be balanced within the game. And that's going to be by not being the same way that they're made in Clash of Clans, where in Clash of Clans, as I've said before, guys, if you haven't seen it, check out any of my last videos. I've talked about it a lot. But basically how they work in Clash of Clans, I mean, it's this hero, it's a giant troop that you get with no expense to you. You get to use it in every single raid. It never dies. It when it gets shot down in the raid, it needs sleep time to recharge. So it's always there. It just you can gem it awake and whatever. So that's basically how they work in Clash of Clans. But I'm thinking how, more so to the speculation of how they would work with prototypes in Boom Beach would be that you would have to like create specific ones with your prototypes, and you could kind of use them in different situations depending on what the prototype has. Now I thought this sounds like the most logical one for them to actually do, because there was more speculation that came out about being able to customize your hero. So I think the only way you could really customize it would be the same way that you can customize your prototype defenses as you already can in the game. Like say you're getting hit by tank medic a lot, or like all rifleman attacks a lot. Like you can build a doom cannon, you can build a laser beam, and stuff like that. So if I think the hero would work if it's gonna be shut up computer. If it's going to be based on the same type of prototype setup, then I think the way it would work is, say you're a tank medic player. Maybe there's a hero prototype option that's like a robot doctor or something like that works as like a giant medic for all your tanks, and then you can use more tanks and less medics on your boats, or something like that. Or maybe it's if you're a rifle cryozuka medic player, then maybe you can. Maybe you get like a giant, I don't know, robot freeze guy that works as like a giant overpowered Cryoneer, and then you don't have to waste a boat on Cryoneers. You can use an extra boat of Zookas or Riflemen or Medics or whatever you want. Or say it's like for armored units, for Scorcher tank players, maybe it's some sort of giant like tank or Scorcher type unit that takes even more damage for the Scorcher, something like that. And then I think the only way, I've said this before, but I think the only way that they can do this is to come out with a new defense. Like there has to be something. If they're gonna do this, like if you bring anything into Boom Beach to boost the offense up, like there at this point in the game there has to be something to counteract that. Unless the only time that offense isn't overpowered in Boom Beach is when you're like you're in the levels like anywhere from 30 to 50. The matchmaking kind of sucks, and you get matched up with players that are like, say you're level 30, you get matched up with like level 45s and stuff like that, and it's really tough. So I'm just thinking more so in terms of end game play, that it's going to be super difficult to actually balance this, because offense is already way overpowered as it is. Of course, it depends a bit on your statues and that stuff, but I mean, if you have 10 offensive statues like myself, and like we get a bonus hero on top of that is only costs us prototype modules that I don't use in the first place. Like I always have level 3 prototypes out, and I never run out of them. Like I never run out of prototypes. I always have it's very close to over 100 of each thing, and I do switch it up all the time. Like I'm not just constantly running hot pot 3s, which are probably the most efficient prototype to run in terms of parts. You don't really need that many parts for it. It's kind of like it's a good mix of everything. It's like 6-3-3-3, I think, or something like that. So you don't really, it's not like if you're running multiple Doom Cannon 3s or something like that, where you're going to run out of a lot of whatever the one. It's like 9 pieces for each thing or whatever of the same type. So it's not like that. So I mean, if it's gonna work on prototypes and be an offensive thing, then it's like it's just going to be a huge buff where we don't need it, and I don't see how that is going to be able to be balanced properly. So unless you're like mid to low level, I really don't see how that's going to work without us being without there being brought in some sort of defense or a new prototype or something to counteract that, because it just seems like way too much offense in the game. So that's kind of what I'm thinking for prototypes. If that's how that's going to work, that there would have to be some sort of defensive prototype to come in and counteract that a little bit. Now, if they don't do that, and say the heroes are more like Clash of Clans, then maybe there's another speculation thing that said you can only run the heroes, I think it said, with power powder. So this would be very interesting, because that would that would stop a lot of high level players from using them in general, especially if you can't use them in operations, if it's going to cost you all your power powder. Because most people that are late game high level players are using are only playing the game to boost in heavily in operations and stuff like that. So if say the hero is unable to be used in operations, which I think could be a way that they go just to keep the game somewhat balanced. So if they do that, I mean, then I think that would be a way to go with it, to kind of keep everyone from using it. Where do we want to go here, chicken? Lots of mortars, lots of boom cannons. I think we'll go right up here. 1, 2, 3. And I mean, I guess that's more or less it for the hero talk, guys. What I would like to see, I don't want it to be a prototype that we just have to farm up and put out. I want it to be something that we own in the game, obviously, like something that we can upgrade, something that I can put gold into. That's what I want it to be. If it's customizable, sure, whatever, that's cool, but I mean, that's not something I would like really want, I guess, in the hero. It's like something that I can customize. That doesn't really matter to me. I'd rather, like, I'd honestly be fine if it was like Clash of Clans, because I just want something that I can dump resources into, and if it benefits me, and maybe I can only use it in in events and going against player base and stuff like that. That's fine. That's perfectly fine to the chicken, guys. Like I said before, like it's gonna be really interesting to see how this is balanced in terms of operations and stuff, because I feel like if you add a hero, regardless if it's a prototype based thing that everyone has to grind parts for, or if it works on power or whatever, that's just gonna be like a massive change to the game in terms of balance and operations and stuff. So yeah, that's basically what I'm thinking. As far as the heroes go, guys, the Riflemen actually worked awesome there. I can't believe that we were able to. I can't believe I didn't realize how good Riflemen were. I'm gonna be using this like for the next little bit. Anyway, so definitely let me know down in the comments, guys, what you think about what the heroes could be. So you see right there. I mean, like, look at all these prototypes. And I just built a grappler. Like I'm always like I have 300 of those one things. Like, it's just ridiculous. I'm just like swimming in prototypes, guys. So what do we want to go with? We'll go with the Grappler Hotpot. What should we do, guys? Let's go Grappler. Grappler Shock Blaster sounds interesting. I don't know. So that's gonna wrap it up for the video today, guys. Make sure to let me know down in the comments what your favorite idea speculation for the heroes is so far. What do you think it could be? What do you want to see, more importantly? What do you want to see out of the heroes coming to Boom Beach? Let me know all that down in the comments, guys. That's going to wrap it up for the video today. Make sure to leave a like, fan. It's entertaining or informative, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Check it out.